we have head coach Braden Holloway, who will be assistant coach on Team USA, Katharine Berkoff, USA Olympian, open for questions.
Katharine, you're a second-generation Olympian. What's that like? And did you watch your dad's races growing up?
I've only seen a few of them, but I was always very inspired by him. As soon as I figured out that he was an Olympian, gold medalist, world record holder, I decided I wanted to do all those things too. So it was from the start when I learned what he did, I decided I wanted to do the same thing. So it's been really special. And my dad hasn't gotten his rings tattooed yet, so we're both gonna get them tattooed this summer.
That's awesome. For both of you, what was it like when you found out that you were going to be part of Team USA? I know obviously you had finished second, so you were kind of in limbo waiting to find out, and then for you to find out that you were an assistant coach as well.
The way they select for it is kind of weird because if you're in the swimming community, you know, like top two is pretty safely in. Like I don't think they've ever not taken someone who's second, so I knew when I hit the wall that I had made it. But I was so relieved just because this has been such like a lifelong dream, and missing it by a little bit 3 years ago was really hard. And I definitely learned a lot from it. So I think I was a little scared of reliving emotions like that, but I was just so relieved when I saw that I hit the wall second, and then seeing Braden and the rest of the staff and my friends after the race was a really special moment.
Yeah, watching her put her hand on the wall for second, and having seen what she's been doing the last couple of years, with this being the goal of getting to Paris, I was just really proud of her. There have been a lot of people that have been a really big part of her life and helping her on this journey, and I think for everyone, even at the meet, it was building up, and then when it happened, it was just everyone was elated and just on cloud nine, and a lot of tears, happy tears came out, and so we were pretty pumped.
Katharine, what did you learn, I guess 3 years ago, when it didn't go your way, and kind of be able to use over the last few years to make it to the point now?
Well, women's backstroke, especially in the U.S., is just super deep right now, and 3 years ago, I was one of many contenders, and I think I just learned really what I needed to do to secure my spot safely on the team, and also just that I need to approach competition with a better mindset and just work on my mental health and things like that, so that it's not so cutthroat in my mind, and that just remembering I do something because I like it and I don't have to do it. It's just all by my choice. So just trying to fix the way I look at everything around swimming.
And then, Coach, how have you seen her grow in the last few years from the last trials to this trials?
I even told her, I think right when we got to trials, we had a couple of days before she raced, and 3 years ago, she went to that meet hoping that she would get it done. This time around, she went to the meet knowing she was going to get it done. And you know, a lot of times in swimming, it's a sport where it's a grind. I mean, it's repetition, right? And a lot of it's pretty hard work. But the amount of days that she's had a bad workout are very far and few between since 3 years ago. And so I think she walked in a lot more confident, because even on her bad days, she's been really good.
And then what's it like for you to be able to go with her and be on staff?
When I found out, I was really happy that I get to be with her. When we recruited her, I told her the number one goal is we're going to make the Olympic team. You know, when I first got here in 2011, and I got a couple of texts from some women from that team in 2011 that I said, our biggest goal right now is to lay the foundation for something that you're going to be proud of when you look back. You won't be here long enough to see the benefits of what you do. And one of the young ladies said, do you remember telling us, we want you to look back and be really proud of the foundation when we put a woman on the Olympic team for USA? And I forgot I said that. And when she made it, I started getting these texts, and then I kind of remembered. And I think for me, it's kind of a tip in the hat for my staff, for my family, my wife, how much she sacrifices for me to be able to do this job. Same with my kids, but I've had great coaches come through here. I have great coaches now, and I've had great strong-willed student athletes that have really just kind of laid the foundation for me to be able to have the opportunity to do this. And now it's kind of a tip in the hat to them.
Who was that swimmer, if you don't mind sharing?
It was a few of them. There was Nicole Haynes, Lauren Poley, Kayla Grimm, and these were women that I didn't recruit. We came in as freshmen together. My first year was their first year, and so it was. We were starting at the bottom, and I wanted them to think bigger. 13 years later, at least
bigger.
At least I didn't lie to them.
What is it? Go ahead.
When did it fully sink in that you'd made the team? Like, obviously you hit the wall and you're all of those emotions. Like, when you sit down and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually did this.
It was probably when I went back to like the media area and saw Braden and my friends and then the coaches, and when I saw everyone crying, that I just got super, like, I wasn't emotional at all until that moment, until I saw everyone else crying, and then that's when it really sunk in. And it was a really special moment because I was so high stress before the race, I didn't really have time to process what had happened when I finished. So when I saw everyone being emotional, I was like, oh, that's what's happening right now, here we are. But yeah, that's when it really felt real.
What's it like knowing that coach will be, in Paris too?
It's such a relief. Like, it's a lot easier having your coach there and having someone to advocate for you, and just knowing that he'll be watching me in my practices to make sure I'm looking how I'm supposed to leading into the meet. So if he needs to make changes, he can. But yeah, I'm really excited that he's coming.
I know you've been doing it for years, but the media reaction right afterwards, you put up the Wolf fans. I mean, even though you're competing for U.S. at the time, what does it mean to represent NC State, and how much pride do you take in that as well?
I think it's really special. I mean, I love it here, and so I'm always really excited to throw that up. But especially, I'm not always supposed to with the USA stuff, but I can't help it sometimes. So yeah, it feels pretty special to be a part of the NC State Olympians.
Braden, how would you describe what Katharine's meant to your program during her time at NC State?
When we recruited Katharine, she waited to make her decision after signing. We had already started the signing process, and she was making her decision, and we made a decision as staff. We're waiting because she's a program changer, and not just what she does in the pool. I would say she was one of the most fun student athletes I've ever recruited. We kind of clicked at the beginning. We're kind of goofy at times, when she first got here, and watching her grow and mature within our program and lifting it up. We were able to do things that we've never done with her here. It's just been it's pretty neat to think back where she was, a long time ago, 5 years ago, and when she first showed up, and, she did a lot of events for us that first year, and now we've been kind of, honing in a little bit more with this in mind for 2024. And, but she's elevated more than just herself. She's elevated me as a coach. She's helped. I tell her all the time, she helps me be a better dad and father, and a better husband. And she's elevated so many people around her to not be afraid to dream.
Katharine, how do you feel hearing Coach say all those things about you?
Feels good. Yeah, he said this stuff to me before, but it really means a lot. I came into NC State knowing that it was going to be a really good team, because you got some good recruits right before I got there, the class before me, and we kind of had a vision of we could do something we've never done before and win a national title. you could go somewhere else where they've already done it, but it's pretty special to be part of the first group of people that does it. And we did that my sophomore year, winning the relay, making the first women's title for our swim team, so that was pretty special. But yeah, it's been really cool to be a part of changing the program.
Braden, Dan Hicks said NC State is becoming a powerhouse in collegiate swimming. Can you kind of put that in perspective for people who, maybe don't follow college swimming as much?
Well, 13 years ago, we were kind of nowhere to be found. We needed to move up, and that was the goal. I think what I appreciate the most about probably that, I heard about that comment is I only know Dan Hicks on TV, and I don't think I've met him in person. I can't remember, but I think just being consistent at towards the top of our sport means a lot to me. We didn't just get up there and then go backwards. We've been able to stay up at a very elite level, and that takes a lot of dedication and hard work by so many people. The coaches, the teams, the athletic department, and supporting us. So it's just nice to hear that hard work is by these student athletes is not going unnoticed.
Katharine, what does this next, 3-4 weeks look like for you?
It's pretty busy, but I guess our first training camp starts on Tuesday in Cary, North Carolina, which is kind of a weird coincidence. So it's right around here, but we'll be in Cary for around 10 days, and then we fly to Croatia, and we're there for another 10 days, and then we go to Paris, and we have 4 days before we start racing. And I'm on day 3 and 4. That's when I start racing. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty busy, and just a lot of stuff, hanging out with other Team USA people. But yeah, there's been a lot going on lately.
You've put so much work into getting here, qualifying for the Olympics, making Team USA, but what is your goal and your mindset? What do you hope to achieve in Paris, in the pool, or off of it?
I've always wanted to win gold. I'm not gonna lie, that's the main goal. But I think the best way to get there will just be to try and enjoy my experience. I think in the past I've gone into these international meets with just a little too much pressure, and I just feel a little too stressed out. So I'm gonna try and relax and have fun, and I think that'll help me go faster.
Have you talked to anybody, about swimming the Olympics? Your dad or anybody else about, what to expect when you get there?
Yeah, one of my teammates, Ryan White, went to the Olympics 3 years ago, and so she's been giving me some good advice about what to expect and what I should bring and stuff. And someone who's been a mentor for me for a long time is Aaron Pearsall. He was an Olympian in, I think, was it 2000 and 2004 or something? And he's one of the greats, but he knows my dad, and he called me a few days ago and was just giving me some advice, and he made me realize that I just need to have fun. That's the moral of his message to me. So I took it, and I'm gonna just try and relax and have a good time.
All right, last couple questions for that. Not else, then
Well,
move on to
Kat, I wanted to ask you really quickly, the Twitter handle, cat poop. Is that something that, how did that come about, and what was the reasoning for it?
I don't know. I've been, cat poop has been a thing since I was probably a freshman in high school, but I made it my Twitter handle whenever I made a Twitter, and I don't use Twitter, so it's kind of like a fake account for me. I just post what I want on there and make it kind of weird, so people might question whether or not it's me. That's my goal.
Perfect.
all right.